Good morning, everyone. Today we'll start by understanding basic sentence structure, which is the foundation of English grammar.
That sounds perfect. I sometimes struggle forming complete sentences, especially when combining multiple ideas.
I get confused too. I know words individually, but putting them in the correct order feels tricky.
I hope this session helps me understand the rules clearly and practice them with examples.
Absolutely. Let's begin with a simple sentence. I eat breakfast in the morning. Here, we have a subject, a verb, and an object. That's the basic structure.
So the subject is I, the verb is eat, and the object is breakfast. That makes sense.
And in the morning is additional information that tells us when the action happens.
I see. So every complete sentence needs at least a subject and a verb, and the object is optional depending on the action.
Exactly. Now let's practice forming sentences using this structure. Emma, you try one.
I read a book in the evening. Is that correct?
Perfect. Notice how you use the subject, verb, object, and added extra information naturally.
I write emails at work every morning. I try to include frequency.
Excellent, Daniel. Including frequency words like every morning is great practice.
I watch movies with my friends on weekends. I added a time frame and an object.
Very good, Maya. This is how we build the foundation for more complex grammar later. Now let's introduce questions and negatives. For questions, we can say, do you eat breakfast in the morning?
So we just add do at the beginning for present simple tense questions.
And for negatives, we say, I do not eat breakfast in the morning.
I see. The verb stays in its base form, and do not makes it negative.
Correct. Let's practice. Emma, ask a question using you.
Do you like coffee in the morning?
Perfect. Daniel, make it negative.
I do not like tea in the evening.
Very good. Maya, try a question with frequency.
Do you usually watch movies on weekends?
Excellent. Notice how adding usually helps express habits.
I feel like this is really clear with examples. I can see how questions and negatives are formed step by step.
And practicing together helps because we hear different ways of forming sentences.
I also notice that practicing out loud improves both grammar and speaking skills at the same time.
Exactly. Using practical examples makes grammar less abstract and easier to internalize. Today we'll focus on the past tense. We use it to talk about actions that already happened, like, I watched a movie yesterday.
So adding ed to regular verbs shows past tense?
But what about irregular verbs? For example, go becomes went.
I think practicing both regular and irregular verbs will help us form sentences naturally.
Correct. Let's try a few examples. Emma, say a sentence using a regular verb.
I played football yesterday.
Excellent. Daniel, use an irregular verb.
I went to the park last weekend.
Perfect. Maya, combine regular and irregular verbs in one sentence.
Yesterday, I watched a movie and went for a walk in the evening.
Great job. Combining verbs helps you create longer, meaningful sentences.
I feel like I understand past tense much better with these examples.
And practicing together helps us notice subtle mistakes before they become habits.
I also like seeing how to structure sentences step by step, from subject to verb to time reference.
Exactly. This method ensures grammar is learned practically, not just theoretically. Today we'll learn how to talk about future actions, make polite requests, and use conditional sentences. This will help you communicate plans and possibilities clearly.
That sounds perfect. I sometimes struggle knowing when to use will, going to, or conditional forms.
And modals confuse me too, like should, could, or might.
I want practical examples to see how these are used in daily conversations.
Let's start with future tense. I will visit my friend tomorrow indicates a decision made at the moment, while I'm going to visit my friend tomorrow shows a planned action.
I will call my colleague after lunch. This is a decision I just made.
I'm going to call my colleague after lunch. This indicates a plan I already decided on.
I will prepare dinner tonight, and I'm going to watch a movie later. Combining both forms shows different nuances of future actions.
Excellent. Now let's introduce modals for polite requests. For example, could you help me with this task? Or, would you mind explaining that again?
Could you please send me the report by this evening?
Would you mind reviewing my presentation slides before the meeting?
Should we meet tomorrow to discuss the project in detail?
Very good. Modals like could, would, and should make sentences sound polite and natural.
I notice practicing these modals aloud helps me internalize rhythm and intonation.
And it also prepares me for professional emails and spoken requests, which I find tricky sometimes.
Let's practice first conditional sentences, which are used for possible future situations. For example, if it rains tomorrow, I will stay at home.
If I finish my homework early, I will go for a walk in the park.
If I meet my friend later, I will tell him about the project update.
If we arrive at the cafe early, we will be able to choose a good table.
Perfect. Now try second conditional sentences for hypothetical situations. If I had more free time, I would learn another language.
If I won the lottery, I would travel around the world.
If I were a teacher, I would make grammar lessons fun for everyone.
Excellent examples. Remember that first conditionals are real possibilities, while second conditionals are hypothetical or unlikely situations.
Practicing these aloud helps me connect grammar rules with actual spoken sentences.
And it makes forming long sentences easier because we practice linking clauses naturally.
I also notice that using conditionals allows me to express opinions, plans, and hypothetical ideas more clearly.
Very good. Let's try a mini conversation. If it rains tomorrow, I will stay home. What about you? I will stay home too, and I'll read a book.
If I finish work early, I'll call my friends. Will you join me?
If I finish my tasks, I'll join you. Otherwise, I'll come later.
Today we'll practice applying grammar in professional conversations. Let's use past, present, and future tenses correctly in sentences you might use at work.
That sounds perfect. I want to describe past tasks, current responsibilities, and future plans clearly.
Me too. I often mix tenses when explaining my projects, so practicing in context will help.
I also want to combine modals and conditionals naturally when discussing ideas or asking for advice.
Let's start with past tense. Yesterday, I completed the report and submitted it to my manager.
Yesterday, I reviewed the client emails and prepared a summary for the team.
I attended a meeting yesterday and shared my ideas about the new project timeline.
I analyzed the sales data yesterday and identified a few trends that could help our strategy.
Excellent. Now let's move to present tense. I usually check my emails first thing in the morning and then plan my tasks.
I normally organize my day around meetings and project priorities to stay on track.
I review team updates and respond to client messages daily to ensure smooth communication.
I focus on solving technical issues and supporting my colleagues whenever needed.
Perfect. Now, future tense with modals. I will submit the report by 5 p.m. if I finish the data analysis on time.
I'm going to prepare a presentation tomorrow, and I will review it with the manager before sending it out.
If I have time after lunch, I will call the client to clarify a few points about the project.
Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the nearest library? I would appreciate your help.
Thank you. If I take the main road, will it take me less time than the side streets?
I noticed the park nearby. If it rains today, will it still be open?
I visited the library last week, and it was very quiet and perfect for studying. What about you?
I usually go there in the evenings, and I always check the opening hours before I leave home.
If the library is crowded, I usually find a nearby cafe to read and practice English.
Yesterday, I read a few articles about grammar tips and tried using them in conversations. It really helped.
I often practice modals like could or should in sentences. I could review the report before the meeting if I have time.
And I practice conditionals. If I understand the instructions correctly, I will complete the task by tomorrow.
I feel that combining past, present, and future tenses in real-life conversations makes me more confident and fluent.
Exactly. Using practical examples while speaking reinforces grammar better than memorizing rules.
Even casual conversations benefit. I usually go for a walk, but if it rains, I stay home and read a book.
Practicing politely asking questions with modals also helps. Would you mind telling me the way to the train station?
And using full sentences naturally makes me sound fluent and professional.
Perfect. Daily practice with practical examples, modals, and conditionals really solidifies grammar skills for real-life use.
Sitting here and reflecting, I realize how much our grammar improved. We can now form sentences with correct tense, use modals politely, and handle conditionals naturally.
I agree. Daily practice, combined with step-by-step explanations from Mr. Lewis, made grammar much easier to understand.
I also appreciate the practical examples. They helped me connect rules to real-life usage.
For example, making polite requests using modals like could you or would you mind feels natural now, not forced.
And conditionals like if I finish early, I will help a colleague are easy to form and use in conversation.
Combining tenses in longer sentences is also much smoother. Yesterday, I studied grammar. Today I practice it, and tomorrow I'll apply it in real conversations.
Practicing in pairs and giving feedback helped me notice mistakes and correct them immediately.
I feel confident using grammar in emails, professional discussions, and casual conversations.
I also noticed that I think in English more naturally now, rather than translating from my native language.
And the repetition of sentences, along with explanations and exercises, reinforce the rules without making learning boring.
I feel like our foundation is solid now. We can continue practicing, but we understand the principles clearly.
The key was combining explanation, practical examples, and active usage that made grammar understandable and useful.
I'm proud of our progress. We can confidently construct sentences, ask questions, make requests, and explain ideas correctly.
And we've learned that daily practice, reflection, and applying grammar in context are essential for mastery.
15. Perfect. I feel ready to continue improving independently while using these skills confidently in real life.